Everyone, John Ponick with the Mohave Valley Daily News. We're down here at MALC again. I know we spent a lot of time down here. Casey Mulligan's back here. I tried to get him to give us our own office down here, but he hasn't done that yet. Maybe next year. But we're down here at Mohave Accelerated. We have the entire boys basketball team here, the state champion, 1A state champ boys basketball team and coaching staff. We got kind of a presentation going on here in a little bit. You see, we got Shane from Findlay that is going to be here doing a presentation. But we're going to do kind of something different today. We're going to do a round table. We're going to talk to the boys a little bit about their season, talk to the coaches about the season, and just have a good time. So I'm going to turn it over to Shane. Shane is going to get things rolling. Enjoy.
So John, you got a plaque for us, right? First and foremost, I want to get this out of the way, guys. Obviously, community very proud of you guys. We talked a lot about making you guys as a team our athlete of the month, but we thought it was such an outstanding, unique accomplishment. We created a separate plaque and a separate recognition. We hope that you guys keep at the school and you put up with pride because we're all very proud of you guys. So we'll put this with all the rest of the hardware that you guys can pass around. If you got a good look at this, obviously that is a pretty impressive trophy, Coach.
Well, I got to tell you, there's one just like it in my bedroom right now. So, yeah, it is a very special trophy for this school in this area. When you win a state title in a what we call a revenue sport, football or basketball, it has a certain amount of panache and swagger that comes with it. And these boys put forward, at least as far as I'm concerned, the first one of its kind in our area. I don't think boys basketball has ever won a state championship at any school around here. I could be wrong, but I looked at the record book, didn't see it.
Go back to the dirt road days. You never know. Everybody was a champion back then.
Yeah, in the 20s. Where would they cut it off at the bottom?
So, Coach, I'm going to hand this to you. You can put it with your hardware. This is for you guys. Like I said, you were definitely our athletes of the month, but we don't take anything away from anyone else. This is for all you guys. So we're going to add this to your hardware, Coach. Congratulations. But I want to sit and talk to you guys because what an experience it must have been, right? Go back a year ago. You fell just short, right? What was it like in that locker room right after you fell short?
It's bittersweet. It was like, wow. Because I always say, we always made a point kind of to never lose. And that's kind of our thing. We just don't really lose a lot. Do whatever it takes to win. So just losing was kind of like, wow.
All right, and you lost, was it in the final, Coach?
Yeah.
Right? So you get all the way to the final, you're sitting in that locker room, and you had to have looked forward to the next year, right? What was the discussion like coming out of that locker room about how you guys are going to do what you ended up accomplishing this year?
Hayden.
Whomever, fellas.
Yeah. You take it. I don't know. I guess we were just looking forward to this next season. We knew the wins were going to come exactly like they did last season, but that state championship win was definitely different.
So, Aiden, let me ask you this. What was the vibe like after the championship being on the other side?
That was a
PG version,
yeah,
okay.
It was very exciting. We were all very happy, and I know a lot of us were crying and holding the trophy. We got our turnover chain from football. We were just having a good time in that locker room.
So, Coach, how was the difference? Obviously, you had to deliver a heartbreaking message a year ago. This year, what was it like?
Well, starting the season out after the loss, we knew that it was going to be a very difficult road. We called it the cross that we bear, or the crown lays heavy on the head, because everyone knew we were coming back with our full team, and it was going to be a big X on our chest that we're the team to beat. But after we won it, it was a great accomplishment for the team, but I got to tell you, this group, the stress that kind of shed off us from that long road, you could kind of see, we finally arrived. And it was a long road, and we didn't know we were going to get there. It wasn't a foregone conclusion like everyone else thought it might be. It was a grind, and when we finally did it, it was certainly an emotional time.
So it is a long process in basketball season. A lot of people don't realize it is a long season. When you guys played that North Valley Christian game, was that kind of your, okay, this is where we're getting tested? Was that kind of the point where you realized, hey, we got a shot?
Yeah, with a region game, we hadn't seen them all year. We've been following them. They were number 4 in the state. We were number 2 at the time. That was a big albatross on our back because as far as we're concerned, they're the state champs until someone beats them. And we were able to get it done at home. It was a team victory for sure. Everybody contributed. But I got to tell you, and I'm going to say this a couple times throughout this tonight, a kid named Owen Davis, right there. He threw probably 4 of the biggest dagger three-pointers we had all season, and the first time he did it was against North Valley, and coming out of a timeout in the third quarter. It was a tight game, and he got us going. And he did a couple big games like that where he did that for us, not known as a three-point shooter, mind you. He's a good player, but he's not a three-point threat on anyone's film. But he did it to 3 or 4 teams throughout our run.
Maybe he is now, huh?
And it was incredible. Yeah, it was.
So that kind of leads me into the next thing I want to talk about, and that's a little bit of adversity and getting tested, guys. You had one of your senior leaders get hit with a tough injury. What was that like when you got that news?
Devastating.
Yeah, it was like, wow. It's like, wow. Like, what just happened?
Yeah. So just
we didn't know. Like winning that tournament, we didn't know what was the problem. We were all kind of just hoping it was a sprain or just a little.
And so when did that happen?
It was at a tournament game.
It was over to
it was our
Christmas tournament.
Yeah, it was the second game of the day, and he went down halfway through. And we had to play without him for a while, but after the game, we were definitely scared and worried about it.
Like we were serious.
We were checking. Yeah.
So let's ask the man who had to deal with it, right? You are our Findlay Athlete of the Year last year, multi-sport, and you're on your state championship run, right? Obviously, you're in your holiday tournaments, but how'd you deal with that crushing news? What exactly happened?
So I was on a fast break, went up for a dunk. When I put it down too early and the ball hit the top of the rim, and then it kind of just threw me off balance in the air. And then I came down, and as soon as I hit the ground, I felt my knee immediately like buckle, and I was just like, oh. And then the wall was kind of short on the side, like right behind the rim, and so I hit the wall and it twisted, and then I just was just sat there with a blank face staring at like the bench. 'Cause I was like, something's wrong. And like they were saying, I hoped it was just a sprain. I went and got checked out by the athletic trainer that was there. And everything seemed promising. He said everything felt tight. It didn't feel like anything was loose, like something was torn or anything. So that gave me a little hope. And then the next couple of days, I was recovering well. I was able to walk, I think, 2 days later. And then from there, it just got better. But then I got my MRI about 2 weeks later, and then it confirmed that it was a full ACL tear. And
So
devastating.
Now that's where this gets interesting because you played at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, what was it like knowing that your team leader out there playing with that type of injury still out there playing for you guys?
Just like,
100%.
Yeah.
Coming off an injury that bad, because most people don't play after an ACL tear, and he just got up and played. Of course, it took a few months to like recover and like help train it back, and he played 100% to Josh.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like he never got injured. So he just came back, played on it.
I heard you dunked one-legged. Is that true?
No.
Oh, okay. So your legend precedes you, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you guys, from the outside looking in, it was amazing to see. You know, we covered some games, had some highlights, and I mean the knee brace you wore was extensive.
Yeah.
And you're up and down, playing, contributing. I mean, that's got to provide a lot of inspiration to everybody else, right?
Yeah.
yeah, it's
And
not only. Go ahead, you go.
I was just gonna say, knowing that he's like back on the court, that took a lot of pressure off of a lot of us, like playing like 6-man and Ramon and.
Absolutely. What were you saying, Tyson?
I was gonna say it was more like kind of just for me. It was just kind of like if Josh is playing after that, like what am I complaining about? Like I need to play better. Like,
100%.
Like he's playing on a full ACL tear, partial tore other ligaments, just going
And I
out
just
there
didn't get
and
enough sleep last
contributing.
night, you know?
Yeah, and contributing. It's like if Josh is doing that, like we can all step it up to help him.
Well,
make it
I'm
easier
glad
for
you say
him.
that because, to be perfectly honest, it seemed like that's exactly what you yourself did, right? And I don't know if that was out of need or maybe you were a little inspired or a combination of both, but you had a big back half of the season.
Yeah, no, it's definitely both. Cause like me and my dad would always talk about it. We'd be like, you know, like it's time. Like here you go. Like this is your time. Like it happened in a terrible way. Obviously, we lost one of our best guys, but it's like, here's your time, like show up, like it's time to go. So it was just kind of like the team needed it, and it just happened. So it's just good timing, I guess.
Well, I think everybody saw and appreciated the effort, right? Yeah. Who else stepped up? Who surprised you a little bit?
Owen Davis.
Owen Davis, the man of the hour. What happened? Where'd he come from?
JV.
JV.
Straight from JV.
So, Owen,
What did you do that was so surprising? They just didn't trust that jumper, huh?
I guess not.
man, gotta have faith, guys. Come on.
It was just with the little minutes of being ineligible and then out of nowhere coming in and contributing. Hey, man. And this kid too, Bryce Marion right here, coming out, dropped a 16 bomb straight off Josh's injury.
Wow. Leading scorer the game after his injury.
Yeah, the first game after his injury is like my highlight of the season kind of.
Hey, that's teamwork in its weirdest way, right? Yeah. So, like I said, I don't mean to make light of it, but man, it was really an inspiring thing to watch from the outside, and clearly your team responded and delivered for you, right? So that's got to be pretty cool. Coach, how was it dealing with all that adversity, stabilizing the group, and were they pretty resilient?
Yes, I was probably the least resilient up front. It was a struggle for me mentally to see this team have a little bit of a chink in its armor. But once Josh started to walk around on it, we had some hope that there might be an opportunity for him to at least step on a court. I got to thinking, how can we use this to our advantage where he may not be able to play like he used to play, but coaches don't know that. Nobody really knew out there. We did not just put out a press release that he had hurt himself. So we kind of used him as a decoy early on until he got his legs under him, where other players had to be accounted for by the other team, but other players were able to get more involved and get more. Aiden got back on track after the break. Scoring prowess came back. Of course, we talk about Tyson. And everyone else had their own moments where they stepped up. And the other teams didn't quite catch on right away that we had, a person who was playing at about 40% of his capacity. So strategically, the team kind of still rolled on without him for a little while till we didn't know what he would be. But he eventually became very close to what he was. And that was a miracle in and of itself.
Yeah, it was really something to see. So obviously winning a championship is the highlight of the year, right? What would be the surprising highlight that wasn't winning a championship? What's something that stands out to everybody as a special? I see smiles. What are we talking about here?
Tyson, you gotta talk about. No, I can't share it, dude.
Share it.
It's some off the floor stuff, but we took a trip to. Was that when Josh got hurt?
Yeah,
was that the same weekend?
The day before.
And just some off the court shenanigans with the boys, just hanging around. Nothing illegal or nothing, but just having some fun. Just having some fun. Taco Bell was closed, and we ended up paying someone to drive through the drive-through for us because they wouldn't let us walk through it. So,
is that the entire story?
Yeah,
I'm sure
that's not Tyson. That's not the entire story.
I think
you missed a little bit. You missed a little bit.
All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
From someone else's point of view.
We go to Taco Bell because we want cinnamon delights, the little cinnamon balls.
Yeah, we're craving cinnamon
Elite athlete fuel, I understand.
Seriously, we were craving all of us.
Dude, right after everyone got right after shower, we're like, Taco Bell. That's where we're going. Taco Bell.
Cinnamon Lights and a Baja Blast. Everyone wanted it. That's all we wanted after our game.
We go in the restaurant, right? And the door's locked. It's a restaurant, okay? This is called a restaurant. Fast food.
It's like 9 o'clock and their lobby's closed.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock. The lobby's closed. Tyson's just knocking on the door. You don't want my money? Like you don't? You just talking to the cashier on the other side of the door. They're just screaming at him.
Screaming, yelling, telling him to go away. Tyson would not leave the window. He'd keep knocking over and over and over until finally they told him to go away and we listened. And then somebody offered to actually pay for us and grab us.
Yeah, we were like, I don't know if this person's driving through their girl, and I'm like waving them down. I'm like, hey, stop. They stop, and I'm like, can you guys do us a huge favor? And they're like looking at me. They're scared, dude. They don't know what's about to happen. They're like, what is this kid about to ask us? I'm like, if we give you money, can you drive through the drive-through with us? And they're like, sure.
12 Baja Blasts.
I was like, can we get 12 cinnamon delights? We need 6 Baja Blasts. And they did it for us. They were great people.
So I know
Shout out to
Casey's
them.
here.
But you guys didn't try to drive the bus through or nothing?
No, dude.
You could have tested that limit that everybody sees on that thing, right? 12 feet or whatever it is.
Yeah, 12 feet. Let's test it. No, it was. Shout out to those people if they're ever watching this ever.
Yeah, hey, shout out to the Taco Bell heroes. We appreciate you guys. So that's that corner of the room was real loud before this. Now they haven't said a word. What do you guys remember most about the season?
I'll go on a more serious note. I remember last year we lost to Cicero as our only loss in the regular season, and I think winning every game this season was really big, and it's something I will always remember because I remember after losing to Cicero, we were all really like down. I remember I was like, "Dang, I can't believe we just blew it," and that was just for one loss. That just shows you how competitive we are, and just winning every game this year and going on to win the title is like really what I'll remember.
It's just so crazy how we lost that game, though. I can't. It's that game. That game,
don't
man.
get me started.
I hate bringing it up, but like,
Aiden, I got fouled out by throwing a pass. Don't even talk to me, bro.
Come on, dude. It was rough. Losing to
My favorite moment of the season was probably winning the region title against North Valley. I really I mean aside from the championship, of course, but beating North Valley in itself was a really big deal, and I had awaited that. And then when we won the region, we had the apple cider in the back, and I remember me and I don't know, it wasn't everybody, but many of my teammates went bowling right afterwards that night, and went and stayed at Stephen Ramon's house, and that night and hanging out with everybody after beating North Valley, that was definitely up there for me this season.
Oh man, this is the bowling back, guys.
Yeah, you're back.
Coach, what about you? What was the you spent a lot of time with these kids, right? Years, but a lot of time in season. Obviously winning a championship is huge. Winning games, moments. What were the things outside of basketball that you're going to take away from this group?
Well, you're right. I've been with these kids a long time. A lot of them 6 years since they were in 6th grade and watched them in Boys and Girls Club. What I'll take away from them is they brought me more joy in the last 6 years than I deserve as a person. And I'll say this as plainly as I can. They became like children to me. And I know a lot of coaches say that, but I really mean that. I'm so close to them from an emotional standpoint that it's going to be tough when they disperse and go about their life. This is the second to last time this group will ever be in the same room together. This last time will be our awards dinner, which is yet to be determined when we waiting for our championship rings to come in. But when those are in and we do that, after that dinner, most of these kids will never be together again. They'll go about their lives and they will become young adults and have their own families. But I hope they take away one thing like I have. They should all, no matter what differences they have in life, they should always be like brothers to each other. Brothers always have differences, but they should never stop caring for each other about the journey that they've been on, what they've accomplished. It's a microcosm of life. What they had to overcome to get to this point was almost insurmountable for a team like us. We're not big enough to sustain the type of losses that we had throughout the year, but we did it anyway. And they did something that will never happen again in this school, in my opinion. They'll never go undefeated, and they'll never win a state championship. And I say that because in the last 30 years, only 6 teams like us have done this. All the other teams that have won it have been prep schools, pay-to-play schools, or schools from the reservation. We don't have that type of resource in this area. So this collection of kids, I think the hand of God came down and put us all in this position for a reason, to be in this position to do what we did and to take away from it so they can become young men and have their own families and do what we did down the line. Maybe they'll coach one day and do something in their own cities. We'll see.
Well, Coach, I think they probably will, and you don't really fully appreciate things and teams and your teammates until you get to be on our side of the thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? When we're coaching, we realize how special that is. So then let me ask the room, how special was it playing for this guy for the last few years?
It's a loaded question.
Something that
that I couldn't have asked for anyone else because obviously it's my dad. You know, it's every kid's dream to win a state title with their dad. I mean, so it was just something very special for me personally on that level because I mean, not a lot of kids get to experience that. So personally, it was.
The weird thing is you got two, right?
Yeah.
Two dad coaches.
I'd say me. I'm just gonna say a little thing about my dad first. Being able to play like for my dad is just like he's never made it out of the second round in high school, so it's just kind of like a little thing I have. Like, hey dad, you see that ring on your finger? Like, remember who won that for you? Type thing. It's just bragging rights. It's just bragging rights. You know, it's all fun and games. You know, but it's bragging rights. But I haven't been playing for Scott since my freshman year. Like, legitimately playing for him on JV and the varsity the past 2 years. But he just always pushed me, dude. It's just like, it's kind of like that caring factor that he has. It's super tough love. It's like, well, you're not doing this, so figure it out. Like, I'm not going to hold your hand through the whole thing, and that's definitely helped me become the player that I am today and just a person in general. So, same thing with Rick. Rick's always just like, I'm not going to hold your hand. I'll show you once, and then figure it out. You're on your own. So
Your dad's been saying that for years, right?
Oh, my dad's been doing that since I was born, but different things. But no, playing for Scott, Rick, and my dad, just as a group, three of them as a trio, just God, they're something else together.
How about the rest of the room? What was it like playing for this guy? Or Coach Banks, or
Me? I've been with Scott for 6 years, and it was something else. He had his moments of like, but other than that, I wouldn't want to play for anyone else.
I don't think not only are we gonna have a group of kids like this, but a group of coaches like that. I mean, like, truly, like how many laughs have we had with like just the coaches? It's like inside jokes. It's just like a great connection with the coaches. It's amazing, and couldn't thank them enough.
What about you, dude?
What about you, Owen?
Talk about your JV coach and then your varsity coach.
It's great playing for.
hey, that JV coach must be really good if you got y'all prepped up for this run.
JV coach gave me 2 weeks of great playing. It's really fun.
Great minutes.
So, obviously, guys, now you look to the future, right? Now, I know the returning players are probably going, hey, we're going to make a run. We're going to see what we can come up with. What about the seniors? What are you guys' plans going out after this run you put together? What do you plan on doing? How many seniors we got in this room?
5.
I'm gonna raise your hand.
What are your plans? What are you gonna try to play some ball? You gonna go to school?
I don't know. I think I'm just gonna go somewhere, and I don't know if I'm gonna play basketball. I'll try to walk on, but I'm not confirmed on a certain place to go yet.
So we're not gonna do the hat thing where we set 5 hats out.
Probably not.
If you do the hat thing, let me know. I'll bring a camera crew down. Okay. What about the twins? What are you guys doing?
Ask him, fools.
I'm like trying to get out of the state. Boys. Shut up. Trying to go to a JUCO, just out of the state. Hopefully play basketball. If not, then I'll just study what I want to study. Dude,
Listen, you guys are late for class. You're excused.
I'd like to be a physical trainer for like teams or something because that's what I want to do. I just want to stick around sports.
I'm mainly the same way. Not trying to be twins or anything with him. Just get out of here.
Is that why when you guys turned your hat around, one went forward?
I hate going backwards.
Okay.
I can't do backwards hats, but I want to try and get out of here. Like if I can play basketball, I'll play basketball. And if not, I'll just study like sports medicine or sports training.
Sir?
Choose.
I am going to, or I'm playing college basketball somewhere. I have a couple coaches I'm talking to right now. A couple in Oregon, Texas, and I think Oklahoma. So I'm trying to see which one will be my best fit, which one has like the best for when I want to study and that kind of stuff, and which one will give me the most money, obviously, to play there. So
very cool.
That's what I plan on doing.
So who's our other senior? Who are we missing?
Owen.
There he is.
I don't really have any plans. I don't even really plan on going to college right now.
Hey, I think we got one guy in this room we haven't heard from at all. Dagan, what are you doing?
I don't know.
Zagan has the same role in this that he did during the season.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm here to take charges and to foul people. I am the next Wamon.
Yeah. He's basically he took my place of taking fouls. So,
Hey, listen.
but that's part of the thing, right? You got some experience that you get to take up and go with you going forward. And that's kind of, fellas, when you get older, you start talking about legacy. What'd you leave behind? What'd you do for the people coming up behind you, right? It's not, as you get to a certain point in life, it's about what you do for those behind you, not what you do for yourself. And I think that you guys have set this school and this culture in a really good place. Obviously, you got a good group coming back. We look forward to seeing what you put together next year. But if we ever do something like this again, I'd be pretty happy. This has been a fun group to follow. I think I've given you how many Athlete of the Weeks?
Quite a bit.
I'm gonna start getting your plaques at a discount. Get your name on there. Fellas, I really enjoyed this. I hope that everybody else gets to enjoy hearing things that not everyone gets to hear about something like this. And I think Coach is right. It really is a special group when you have all the stars aligned, right? And even to have the adversity come together and bring a championship home. I think this is very cool, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this, man. The run, not talking to me all the time, but the run, man. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
I enjoyed both.
John, you got anything for us you want us to put in here before we?
No, just the Mohave Valley Daily News is part of this as well, so we really appreciate covering you guys during the year. Connor, our new sports guy.
I was like,
he's around.
Ouch!
He shot the very end.
At least you didn't call me Cameron again.
Yes. Yes. He wears so many hats that it's hard to keep track of him. But he came in towards the end of your run here, so I'm glad that he had a chance to see what you guys are up to. You look on the bottom of your plaque and all those Athlete of the Week and Athlete of the Month things, and our general manager's signatures on there. We really appreciate all the work that you guys have done, and just congratulations. We really hope that you guys enjoyed the ride.
Thank you. One more thing from the coach. Often overlooked in these type of success stories is the school, the administration, the athletic director, superintendent, all the people behind the scenes that helped us get to this point. Scheduling, uniforms, transportation, all the logistics. The home games, of which nobody in any place we've ever played has a home game like we have. The pomp and circumstance around these kids is electric every night, and I think it got them ready to play. So I'd like to thank the school and everybody associated with the school for helping us get here, because without them we wouldn't have a place to play, would we? So thank you, and hey, what a run we had. 2 years, 46-2, and I don't know what else to say other than couldn't ask for more out of these kids.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, hey, again, fellas, we just want to thank everybody, and I really agree with what Coach said, and that goes out to the whole community. I've come to a few of these home games, and they really show out for you guys. So shout out to the students, the school, the town. Everybody got here somehow, and it takes a village. So congratulations. Shane from Findlay, I'm out of here, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.